Teeny. Come here, see. Wanna play mouse? Wanna play mouse? Sorry. Sorry. I hope everybody's having a good evening. It's nice to meet you. I'm Christina, K-A-R-S-T-I-N-A. This is the D. Louise book series. This is where we read books and talk about books. No special effects, no special anything here. Just what you see is what you get. The old Roots Web thing. And I gotta fix this now later. It's driving me crazy. And I have sinned. I have sinned tremendously. I had a candy bar. No candy bars. No. That's 200 calories I didn't need. I did not need. But anyways, please hit the like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. It is so not gonna happen. But one can hope and pray and beg and all that kind of good stuff. So anyways, if you could please check out Star Trek Next Generation Recap Fridays, or If Then Fridays if you like this author, then maybe like that author, and Flashback Mondays, where we talk about my favorite Romantic Times book review magazine and all the books that were reviewed in it. I've gotten a little carried away in the last couple of Flashback Mondays, and I did 70 books in one video and 60 books in the following video. I'm getting a little carried away, but I'm trying to cover all the most highest rated books in the historical, in the mystery, in the romance, in the contemporary romance, in the sci-fi, in the Harlequin, in the paranormal, and in the erotica. So I'm trying to cover all of it. So I'm getting a little carried away. But anyways, and also, I need you very much to check out my daily book reviews, which this is a daily book review. And we are doing J.R. Ward's Black Dagger Brotherhood. We are doing James Patterson's Alex Cross series. And if you watched my Four Blind Mice the other day, you would see that I wanted to have a book. And if I was going to spend $10 on the book, which is how much it cost, I wanted a physical book. I didn't want an e-book. I wanted a physical book. So I ordered the physical book of Amazon. And if you watch the Four Blind Mice video, you will see that the book was missing 18 chapters. And not only was it missing 18 chapters, it had 10 chapters twice. It was missing 70 to 90, so it was missing the 20 chapters in between, and then it had 90 to 100 twice. So that's what happened to that 70 to 80 chapters. But anyways, we are doing Murder on St. Nicholas Avenue, Book 18. I got the entire set at a library sale, so I consider myself good. I like buying sets. I like reading the character progression from book to book to book to book. And watch my computer. It's being held together by the binder clip. So anyways, I want to warn you. Spoilers, lots and lots and lots and lots of spoilers. People yell at me. I've done almost 900 videos. I did all of Janet and all of Laurel and all of J.D. Robb, all of James Patterson's Women's Murder Club last year. So there's a whole bunch of series out there. And we are going through Victoria Thompson's Gaslight series with Sarah Brandt and Frank Malloy. And if you've been watching other videos, Sarah was a midwife for many of the books, and Frank was a detective with the New York City Police Department. And they have since resolved a whole bunch of issues, solved it with her parents, and gotten to know her parents. And they are on their honeymoon. They got married at the end of the book. And this is the first book. And I haven't seen another one yet, so we'll have to see if it happens again. But this is the first book that Frank and Sarah are out of town, and MAEVE GINO, Elizabeth, and Felix Decker take it upon themselves to solve a murder mystery. They have so been involved, at least Mrs. Decker has. Mr. Decker has on occasion. But in this book, Maeve, GINO, Elizabeth, and Felix really dig into the case, and Felix actually takes it upon himself to do some questioning of suspects. He gets that much involved. And, I wanted to look at something. Hold on a second. And Felix is amazed with himself at how drawn into the case and how involved in the case he is and how much he enjoys working the case and how much, because of the involvement with Frank and Sarah in previous books, not in this one, but that he's really taken with GINO and really likes GINO. And his wife has been involved with this stuff for a while now. And he's getting to know Maeve, and they're getting to know Brian and Catherine and Mrs. Malloy, Frank's mom. And we also learn, we did not know this previously, but Mrs. Malloy's first name is Alma. So, I think I wanted to read this. We will read it again. I will probably read it again in a Flashback Monday by the end of the year, probably, because I'm still in November of 2010. But this is November of 2015 that Murder at St. Nicholas came back. I'm not going to read the caption. I'm just going to read it was a top pick for Romantic Times Book Review. And it says, the Gaslight books are set in 19th century New York. Thompson is an expert at combining details about the era's history as well as social details of many segments of New York society, allowing the story to paint a vivid picture of people often left out of similar books. I just wanted to read that little caption there. So let's get back to it. So Felix and Elizabeth and GINO and Decker work as a team to solve this murder mystery, and they enjoy it, and they have so much fun. So this lady stops at the Mallory home because she's a friend of Mrs. Mallory from way back when, and she says that they have put her daughter in jail, her daughter Una in jail, and she needs help in getting them out. And she's heard Mrs. Malloy say that her son and sister-in-law, or daughter-in-law, should I say, sorry, got that wrong, are, detective and they solve cases. So Una wants them to help her, but they tell her that Sarah and Frank are away on their honeymoon. So Maeve steps in to help. And so she tells the mother-in-law to go to an attorney who's across the street from the courthouse. And we don't learn too much in this book, but we will learn in future books Maeve's slightly connection to the attorney and how she knows him. And that'll be revealed in future books. It's not discussed in this book. And GINO has been helping. GINO gets involved. He goes to the headquarters and asks, talks to people there about this case because he's trying to help Maeve find out who really killed Mr. Pollock, because Mr. Pollock is dead. And right now the police are charging his wife with the murder. And so Maeve and Mrs. Decker go to the Pollock residence to gather up Una's clothes because Una is in jail. And Maeve, being the brilliant person she is, and she, her past experience, finds the money and finds paperwork and doesn't tell anyone except Mrs. Decker about the money and the paperwork. And they give the money to Mr. Decker and the paperwork. And Mr. Decker discovers upon investigation of the paperwork that it wasn't quite a Ponzi scheme, but the guy had invented a project for the Panama Canal, which because they were local and because they didn't have internet back then, and because they didn't have resources back then, they believed this guy when he said they wanted to build a train and he wanted these people to invest in this train. And Mr. Decker later informs certain people and individuals that the train's been in existence for over 50 years. So it's a fake investment scheme. And 2 of the men involved in investing in this company have gotten murdered or suicide because they were so embarrassed that they had been taken like that and swindled like that. So Mr. Decker figures out what's going on, and they decide that they aren't able to return all of the money to all the individuals, but they're going to return a portion of the money to the individuals. But the servants at the Pollock residence are also very upset. They're wondering if they will get paid if the missus is in jail, and the Deckers tell them they will help them out too. And it's just a really good investigative case. There are a couple of different murders. There's a couple of different suspects. It's a really fun story. I thoroughly enjoyed how much fun Maeve and Gino and Felix and Elizabeth Decker were having with this case. They thoroughly enjoyed themselves investigating, and they all teased that they're going to start a detective agency at some point. And it's just, I just love it. This was a very enjoyable book. It was a really quick read. I really enjoyed it. And I'm really not going to go through it completely like I usually do. But Maeve does take the kids, yes ma'am, the kids to see Santa Claus. This is apparently this is during the Christmas season. So it's just a wonderful book. We only saw a little bit of Mrs. Ellsworth in this story. She only makes a very brief appearance, and I'm looking forward to her. I love her sayings. I love all her interactions with Sarah. And it was just a really fun book because you see how much Mr. Decker, who's supposed to be this really high society guy, enjoy the questioning and interrogating of suspects. He enjoys insinuating his influence and powerfulness in the society, and he just has a blast. And Elizabeth has a blast too, and that's why she's been doing it for so long. It's just so much fun. And Gino and Maeve are just natural detectives. And I will give you a spoiler. Because Gino is assisting in this case, and because there are reporters camped out on Una's door, Gino is let go from his position in the police department because he was seen at this lady's door. And I don't think that they had any right to fire him, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Decker could have saved Gino's job if Gino wanted it to be saved, because Gino is hoping, like Maeve is hoping, like Elizabeth and Felix are hoping, that Frank Malloy will open up a detective agency in future books, and of course he does. But I just love these books, and I love the author's notes at the back of the book. They are so much fun. So I'm just going to read just a little piece of this. I hope you enjoyed this Gaslight Mystery Extra story. My publisher asked me to do a Christmas story featuring some of the secondary characters for the series. Fans have been nagging me to get Gino and Maeve together, and Frank and Sarah were away on their honeymoon. So this seemed like perfect timing. Don't worry, Frank and Sarah are back and better than ever, and they will be leading future investigations as before, only as part of Frank's new private inquiries business. I had fun investigating Christmas traditions in America during this time period. To my surprise, I learned that Christmas wasn't celebrated much at all in America until around the time of the Civil War. The first Christmas tree lot in New York City went up in 1851. Christmas lights first appeared in 1882, but they were too costly for most Americans who used candles instead. And I was surprised that Maeve had bought the Christmas lights at Macy's when they went shopping. I mentioned the Legal Aid Society, which was established in 1890 to provide legal representation for indigents. Attorneys have been providing pro bono representation for a long time, and this agency merely formalized that process. It's just so much fun. This is such an awesome series. I love this series. And it is book 18, and I am anxious to get on to book 19. Unfortunately, I think Rose Hill is 24, so we're almost running out of books, and it makes me sad that I'm running out of books. Then I will have to wait a full year for the next book. It's been nice binge reading. I'm a binge reader. I like to binge read. So I hope you enjoyed this series as much as I did. I hope you enjoyed Maeve and GINO and FELIX and Mrs. Decker getting involved in this case. They just had such a good time. They're addicted to it now. So if you could please hit the like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. It's just awesome. I just love these books. Thank you.